Hey, it's Kim, and we've got to talk about TMZ and Britney. So last night, I watched the documentary that TMZ has put together about Britney Spears. And I want to say that I don't really even feel like this is a documentary, in all honesty. It was absolutely nothing but a disgusting hit piece, and it was terrible. Legitimately, this documentary is one of the worst things I have ever seen. As a fan, I am offended. As a disabled woman, I am offended. There was a lot in this documentary that was bluntly very ableist. And it was such a dumpster fire, it's really hard for me to even know where to start. So, what I'm going to do is go off of my notes, which are over here. So, if you see me looking over here, that's what I'm looking at. I hope that that's okay. So, here we go. To start, there was a lot of conversation about Britney's mental health and basically her medical information. And of course, everything was according to sources or anonymous sources or people in the know. I do want to say I question the motivations of any person that feels that it's appropriate to tell a tabloid about someone's private medical information. And it makes me wonder how much the people that did apparently leak information actually care about Britney. Should we really believe someone that has violated her trust and privacy like this? So my answer to that is no, and I think it takes a special type of garbage person to think that this is okay. And because of that, anything this documentary is saying regarding Britney's health, I am taking with a grain of salt. One of the things that they talked about is that Britney apparently sleeps with a knife under her pillow, and she does this because she's terrified of being reinstitutionalized against her will. Now, when the conservatorship ended, apparently one of the recommendations was that Britney was supposed to stay away from knives. Okay. But the way that they discuss this is very invalidating. Keeping in mind that Britney has been institutionalized against her will, that she has been taken from her home, been strapped to a gurney, and then been admitted, the idea that Britney is afraid of it potentially happening again is not irrational. And this whole segment, it felt like to me that they were trying to paint Britney as being irrational. I also have to say, and I have to watch my words here because this is YouTube, but does TMZ say this stuff about celebrities that sleep with a boom boom little thing that fits in your hand in their nightstand? Do they say the same thing about people that keep something like a baseball bat in their bedroom just in case? No. No, they don't. Because there's a lot of people that keep things like that close to them when they sleep in case of an intruder. It's a sad reality, but a lot of people do it, and that doesn't make them crazy. So to me, when you're trying to paint someone's fear of something that's already happened to them as irrational, to me, that's just straight up gaslighting. I mean, it's not like Britney went into a sub shop and jumped the counter and stole a knife and ran around a restaurant. Oh yeah, that was Jamie Lynn. I don't understand the fixation they had on this point, but then they had to go and take it a step further. And they insinuated that Britney was capable of ending Sam. I really want to know where TMZ finds the audacity to say this. I don't understand how a news outlet saying something like this is legal. And that part was really what gave me pause. That part was what made me the most angry. And there's a couple reasons why. First of all, I hope Britney's okay, genuinely, because I have heard the media say some terrible things about her over the years, but this definitely hits my top 5. But more than that, that kind of a statement is dangerous because it insinuates the people that have mental illness are more likely to be violent and to hurt other people. When the reality is that people with mental illness are far more likely to be victims themselves. So they're painting this picture that because Britney has a mental illness, it's better for her to be controlled. It's better for her to not have her human rights because she's obviously going to hurt someone. And that is just so damaging and so offensive on many levels. The documentary also accused Britney of mocking therapy, and they referred to a skit that she had posted on her Instagram quite a while ago. And they tried to use that as evidence that Britney wasn't going to therapy. Britney has said on multiple occasions that she is in therapy. She's also done horse therapy, and she is taking medication to manage her health conditions. The skit in question, the one where she mocks therapists, it was a skit that she did, mocking the therapists that she had to talk to for 10 hours a day, 7 days a week in the institution where she was put against her will. So in my opinion, Britney using humor to try to process trauma does not equal her not taking care of herself. Nor does she owe the public any information about her medical treatments because it's none of our business. But that's part of the problem, is that TMZ has made this their business. Exposing Britney has made them a lot of money over the years. And to put it in perspective, I went on TMZ's website and I checked how many times the tag Britney Spears has been used in a post. And in the past decade, I found at least 600 stories that TMZ has run about Britney Spears. I did the same thing for Taylor Swift. She has 460-ish. Tabloids write about people that they know the public is interested in. They're not going to write an article about somebody if people aren't going to click it. It's exactly why they've done this documentary as well. They know the public is obsessed with her. And they also know that people in general like to watch a train wreck. So in my opinion, a lot of the time, and I think that the therapy skit example is a perfect one of that, they're going to frame it in any way they can to make it look like it's something it's not. Because if it's negative, if it's bad, if it's salacious, it makes them more money. At one point in the documentary, they talk about how it's not good that Britney is isolating herself in her home. Except every time Britney goes out, it becomes a media circus. Literally, a couple months ago, when she went out to dinner, it became international news for over a week. And fans called the cops on her. And from my perspective, that whole thing was led by TMZ. They started it, and they kept fanning the flame. TMZ, hi. You're part of the problem. It's you. The documentary also talked about the videos that Kevin leaked, of Britney being a mom, the ones that they thought were like a total mic drop, and then the whole world went, Britney's a mom. Shock. And then Mark Kaplan showed up, and I don't know why he's here, but okay. And of course, we could not have a Britney TMZ documentary that didn't talk about the naked pictures. And that the boys are so embarrassed about the naked pictures. And she's a mom. I have talked about this on my channel before many times, and I do not want to repeat myself. The reality is, Britney Spears has done nothing illegal with those photos. They have not violated Instagram's terms of service. And as much as I understand that it would be awkward and potentially embarrassing for the boys in this situation, there have been paparazzi that have laid on the dirty ground with their cameras up in the air trying to get a shot of Britney under her dress. They have succeeded with her getting out of a car, and they posted that. The paparazzi have exposed more of Britney than she has ever shown us. Literally, the first music video that Britney did under the conservatorship included her being naked in a sauna. But when Britney decides to do it on her own and putting it on her Instagram, all of a sudden it becomes a problem. Celebrities today have OnlyFans. They pose naked for magazine covers or music videos, or they do nude scenes in movies, and it's never a problem. This argument is full of double standards, and quite bluntly, I think it's old, boring, and stupid. And of course, the documentary talked about Britney dancing in her house. But again, the press completely ignores the fact that Britney has pretty much been dancing every day of her life since she was 3 years old. And that she's also disclosed that dancing helps alleviate her pain from the nerve damage she has on one side of her body. The end of the documentary focuses on Britney's potential. This idea that she could return to her former glory, that she could sell out stadiums atop the charts and return to being the great Britney Spears. It's just the most ridiculous thing when they've literally spent the prior half hour trying to make her out to look like the most insane person on the planet, but that everything would be great if she just went back to work and started making money again. Again, it just felt so pro-conservatorship, and it was just disgusting. Any well wishes that TMZ gave Britney are nothing but hollow. And it was nauseating. I also want to point out that the fact that they had doctors on this show talking about the health of someone that they've never actually treated is ridiculous. Any doctor that thinks that it's appropriate to speak about someone's mental health to a tabloid, knowing full well that this information will be used in part to re-traumatize the person, is a joke of a doctor. They should know better, and I have a lot of questions about their ethics. But of course, when I looked into these doctors, I saw a lot of shady things, so that's a fun rabbit hole to go down. In closing, this whole thing was disgusting garbage. If there is any way that they can go after TMZ, I really hope they do. This feels like 2007 all over again. It is surreal watching an hour-long character assassination of a woman, disguised as a documentary, based upon her reported mental health from people who are unnamed sources that obviously do not have the best intentions when it comes to Britney. I feel like we watched abuse happen in real time in 4K. Please do not subject yourself to this. Don't give TMZ the clicks they want, the views they want, and the ad revenue that they want. I know in the Britney community, we have things we disagree on. There are controversies, there are theories, and people have their opinions. But I honestly think we can all agree that this was wrong. I don't have anything else to say. That's it. Much love.